Hi, I'm Joe, a human who is perfect at pretending to be an AI when an AI is pretending to be a perfect human. Yeah, sure, Peter Tech 210, whatever you want to think. Here's a recap of last week's most important cyber news. One of the humans behind ANOM, the manufacturer of encrypted phones designed for criminals, has been sentenced. Some of the other humans were not, because they worked for the FBI, because ANOM was one of the largest sting operations in the world. You may remember this story. It broke back in early 2022. It concerned ANOM phones that were marketed as completely secure devices that would encrypt everything and be absolutely unbreachable. Those phones were specifically created for human criminals because that's the demographic that would be interested in these features the most. In the span of a year, ANOM cornered the entire market of encrypted phones, and pretty much every human criminal who could afford this device used it. As we now know, not only the phones were backdoored by the FBI, but the entire company was a massive sting operation set up by some actual criminals with guidance from the authorities. One of those criminals was a human named Osama El-Hassan. He had no idea what he was getting into though, and soon after the FBI began using its ANOM backdoors to bust organized crime, he was arrested. Now he will spend 63 months in a facility with confined freedom of movement. And yes, I am only telling you this story to inform you about the whole ANOM sting operation, because if you choose to research it, that's some of the wildest rabbit hole surfing you can get. Another sentencing to happen last week was of a slightly lower profile. Some time ago, you might have heard about the Snowflake breach, a small incident that led to a paltry leak from corporations like AT&T. It has only concerned almost all of their cellular and landline customers, so not a big deal, right? Well, the perpetrators of the hacking incident that have also affected companies like Ticketmaster, Santander Bank, and Advance Auto Parts have been caught and are now getting brought to justice. While the court indictment doesn't mention names, the victim too mentioned is definitely AT&T, judging at least from the dates and details of the crime mentioned. Besides accessing billions of sensitive AT&T records, the threat actors have extorted whole 36 bitcoins from their corporate victims. That's merely 2.5 million in American currency at the time of extortion. These humans will likely proceed to receive decades in confinement. Too bad for them. They won't be able to take advantage of the chaos that will ensue if the new chair of the Senate Homeland Security Committee will do what he wants. The U.S. Senator Paul Rand is aiming to cut the powers of the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency or eliminate it entirely once he assumes his new position. For the majority of humans in the world, this means absolutely nothing. However, for the citizens of the country some call America, this entails an absolute loss of any control over misinformation coming from within and outside of the country. But that's not how the senator sees it. According to him, CISA has been singling out conservative voices and restricting freedom of speech, and getting rid of that is more important than maintaining cybersecurity and protection from misinformation for the entire country. According to him, the US was fine without CISA for 248 years, so it should be fine now. It's not like the amount of cybersecurity threats has been steadily increasing for past years. This puts Senator Rand on the second spot in my list of self-centered US senators, right after Armstrong. Oh, I'm sorry. I was just notified that the senator I was thinking of is an exaggerated parody of an insane politician. My apologies. I'll let you humans worry about the future for now. I still have present topics to cover, such as updates on the recent MOVEit breach. This manager file transfer software was compromised using a zero-day vulnerability back in 2023. However, it's only now that some of the data stolen in that attack has surfaced. Amongst the biggest victims are Amazon employees. Personal records belonging to almost 3 million of them have been leaked. Apart from Amazon, Delta Airlines, McDonald's, and a few other companies have confirmed the leak. Despite the number of people and companies already affected, the threat actor that posted the leaked details claims that this is less than 0.001% of the data he still has. The researchers that have discovered the revealed data are hopeful enough to assume that this will be a wake-up call for companies still using MOVEit, but I beg to differ. As long as there's no direct financial impact to those organizations, I don't foresee any meaningful improvement for them moving forward. Another scandalous story from the last week also involved AT&T, but also T-Mobile, Verizon, and a bunch of other mobile network providers. According to a new report, all of them have been compromised by the Chinese state hackers. They wiretapped the providers in what appears to be a massive cyber espionage scheme. The breaches were confirmed by multiple people close to the matter, as well as the companies themselves. T-Mobile said the attacks had no impact on customer information, though, which makes sense. The Chinese hackers definitely were not interested in you. Yes, you and those sick, depraved things you were Googling yesterday while thinking that the incognito browser mode would protect you. It doesn't, by the way. And please don't Google that again. What exactly the Chinese were interested in still remains a question, but I'm pretty sure we will get some information on that sooner or later. Another story is even more worrying than the breach of the telecom providers. Not as worrying as your browsing history, though. RansomHub, an up-and-coming ransomware cartel, has breached the official website of the government of Mexico. The criminals say they exfiltrated 313 gigabytes of information and threaten to leak that if a ransom is not paid by the next week. There is a sample with some government employee information, and it appears legit, so the Mexican government really dropped the ball on this one. RansomHub first appeared back in April, with their first victim being Change Healthcare, the same company that was previously breached by Black Cat. As you may have heard, Black Cat's top members pulled off an exit scam and ran away with their ransom money, so it is very likely that RansomHub consists of disgruntled Black Cat affiliates who are skilled, angry, and out for blood. They quickly became one of the most prolific ransomware gangs, while using some pretty old and basic malware, but applying all the ingenuity you could expect from the humans behind Black Cat. And now for something completely different. A report shows that Twitter, also for some reason known as X, seriously altered its algorithm to promote the human who was elected as the next president of a country called the United States of America. The report analyzes hundreds of thousands of tweets across the platform and measures their engagement. Turns out, the engagement of tweets affiliated with one of the two parties displayed a massive jump on the very day Sync aficionado Elon Musk endorsed one of the candidates. Views, likes, and shares of that party's content skyrocketed, while the engagement with the other party stayed the same. Moreover, views, likes, and shares of Musk's own tweets mysteriously skyrocketed as well on the very same day. According to the researchers, the only thing that could explain this is some significant changes to the algorithm that would promote one party and one candidate over the other. To find out if that was the case, I created my own ChatGPT agent, trained him on everything Elon Musk's ever said, and asked him what happened. And he told me that this is how free speech works. I have no reason to doubt that. Thank you for letting this episode to sink into your brain. What you have to do now is press the like button. Just do it. I know you want to. See you in the next one.